If you are joining me for the first time, please remember to click subscription button and hit that notification bell to be the first person to receive the video that will be produced by Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media, updating you. Davi-tech-media, subscribe to Davi-tech-media. Hey friends, welcome to Davi-tech-media, your number one news channel. I'm your host and producer Luchimbi David. If you're really joining me for the first time, please don't forget to click that subscription button and that notification bell. Thank you for tuning in at Davi-tech-media. Remember, this is the channel that will produce news, trending videos, political news, gospel music, as well as entertainment. Today's update, please take a look at this video. Watch.
Just one as brief as possible, because I know there are a lot of people who would like to speak to you. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello? Okay, let's on this line. Hello, good morning. Good morning, how are you, sir? What's your name?
This is Tanda. Good morning. Hon Lubinda.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Sir, what I know that one day you the compare to review the cost of hunting. Security target is and what limited by the so-called the no law compulsory to review the cost of hunting. What if that is you are linked to terrorist activity? They will not help to solicit the answer. One day to solicit that way. Thank you.
Okay. So Chanda is talking about again source of funds. Do you want to respond to him, or I should take a break?
Let's get a few more.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. This is Doris. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Honorable, this is Lawrence. I'm a staunch peer supporter, and which knows. Yeah. Honorable, what I would like to see for me is this party, exist, live beyond the 2026. So what I'm appealing to you, our leaders, is to be united, and, rebrand the party, and, let's be a force record with the 2026. So I'm asking you to put the personal interest above, the party interest above your personal interest. That's what I'm asking for. And then another thing that your members on the ground, Vice President, they are being attacked by UPND cadres. They are being threatened. They're being beaten. What are you doing as a party? Because the police are just watching, not doing anything. Okay? The police are just watching. So the question is, what measures are you going to take as our leaders to protect your members on the ground from being beaten by these ruthless UPND cadres? The other thing is, I've heard Mr. Chinybe from FODEP that you have to review your source of funding, even if there is no law that backs that up. What is your message to Mr. Chinybe and the Transparency International Zambia President, Mr. Nyambe, that saying should review why out of 16 political parties, why only the PF is the spirit of transparency? Can the UPND also review the assessment?
Lawrence. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. I lost you on that line. 226-841-0978-895. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, thanks. What's your name?
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry?
Simple Colonel.
When you see our members are being attacked, you must know that you are the same people who practice this thing of capitalism. And I think we don't expect the current government just to approach completely capitalism. It was the government it was deeply rooted. Currently now working at this opposite market. You find the PF cadres wearing the UPND cadres wearing the which means it is a gradual process which is being done and the government is in power. So for you to come and claim to that the UPND, they are beating our members, they are abusing our members, and they are the one who planted this thing now. The current government, they are telling by own means to sit that they eradicate this capitalism, and you must appreciate that. And the other thing which you must remember, when the UPND the president made it clear that don't cheat anyone, which means even if PF cadres are in this market, that the president said, they are not in.
Okay. All right. Simple Colonel. Your question. Thank you very much. I think we get your question. Hello. Good morning. Buenos días.
ukakwino mkamba na mwani kalenda. Wangi wa Vice President.
Mulibwanji bakalenga.
Leta ukakwino. Iya, ikamini kakande kulitakuti. Kyoyangirira, tanuti nari ngetakusika kena Yesu Tendo Power. Mulangi wakuti wa opposition bashayi mkija wanapeleka message yabo yokamba kuti ife ngaitakwera mpawa izakita zili bonse babili mzakubekisa kumuleta batima mazangeri kulipe muntu amenya zakakola ntchito kulipe muntu amenya zakakatopanga kwenda kusikulu wonke ni free principle mjetu wangi up university dola izakagwa 10 hours 14 hours yagwa so basalamu pia akizona kapena manene futi opote maneno nayo nyakuti ndio na ife as opposition singa kando pia ni government of power ya sababu ni sababu itatisho yake ya strike kukonde machape ndio ito yake which is not the duty of the opposition to praise government. So what we do to the government is to protect the free pay better pay vinavyoona na menso ni kutoka pia hiyo bamanga basi kuliko na teacher mafuti kulipa chani but waona ni pale problem ukufikiri chini ngakaje chakuti kubera kanya violence ni kitu wanali mpotsibezokana sima drug naona ka leo zokamba hii pia violence itapata power that is violence I don't think there is no you just have problem nyao bali ni wale unalenge kandima kwa maana kama azona kwa hapo ni finish won't to the tunakuwa imani wale kazani.
Do you want to respond to those before we get lost in?
Yes, first let me comment on, I think it was Chanda who said the Drug Enforcement Commission does not require a legal framework upon which to investigate or interrogate people. That is far from the truth. In any country where you are governed by laws, you must have a legal framework upon which you take any action. We don't have rule of the jungle in Zambia. We have laws. If, like he said, the DEC chooses to link us to terrorism, they must ask us on terrorism. They must not ask us about our sources of funding. They must link us to that terrorism. So as long as there is no legal framework upon which they will compel us to divulge our sources of political party funding, they will not do it. And if they want to apply the rule of the jungle, fine. But remember that President Bali said he is going to rule by the law. And we expect Drug Enforcement Commission and all other investigative wings of the government to operate within the confines of the law. And that is exactly what Lawrence was saying. Lawrence was saying, why are these people saying, reveal your sources? Only you in the Patriotic Front reveal your sources, but the other political parties are not compelled. Why are they playing double standards? If they want all political parties to reveal their sources, let them enact a law. As a matter of fact, the law is already there. All they have to do is to take it to Parliament and say that going forward, all political parties must divulge their sources of political party funding. For me, that is something that I pushed for and pushed very hard. And you remember what people were saying about that? They were saying this is archaic. You don't have to ask people. Today, they want to take advantage of the absence of the law and still apply the law. That is not fair. That is not right. They should have stood up. These people are saying, yes, PF, review your sources. They should have stood up then to assist me to convince Parliament that we need the law. The fact that they kept quiet then, they must keep quiet now. We were willing to come up with the law. Had that law been in place, all of us would have been compelled to divulge. But now that we don't have the law, sorry, it's not only going to be the PF that is going to be compelled. And we have no fear of any contradiction whatsoever. Mr. Simple Kennel, I think that really your question was answered by Mr. Kalenga. You do not say, oh, because you are the ones who planted the bad tree, therefore allow us to abuse it. No. You promised the Zambian people, Mr. Kalenga, you UPND and your alliance, you promised the Zambian people that the moment you form government, there will be no violence. Unfortunately, what do we see? The violence is even escalating. The fact that we had vigilantes in Kaunda's days, vigilantes who had the power to go and just undress women in markets, does not mean that we should tolerate that 40 years later. No. What Mr. Simple Kennel is saying is that because there were vigilantes in UNIP, therefore it should be UNIP that should come and remove vigilantes. UNIP is not there. UNIP is not in power. The issue that they were cadres and they were being antagonistic, they were being violent during PF, does not mean that PF should come and remove them, because PF is not in power. The one who is in power now is President Bali. And please, we don't want violence because our members are being attacked. The Deputy Secretary General of the party and myself actually approached the police. We went and saw the commissioner to go and report these matters of violence. It is not up to us. Look, unlike the other people who will say an eye for an eye, for us in the Patriotic Front, we want to avert a crisis. Because if I said here what the others were saying, and you remember what they used to say, defend yourselves, stand up and fight. We're not going to encourage our people to fight back. No. Because if all those people whose houses have been destroyed, if all those people whose eyes have been gouged out of their holes, and if you go now to Levi Mwanawasa, there is a guy there, Muvita from Kanyama. Only 2 days ago, he had his eye gouged out of the socket. And if I say to people in the PF, go and stand up and pick pangas and fight, what are we going to create in this country? Violence begets violence. God's blood always cries to God. But we in the Patriotic Front are saying to our members, regroup, be in numbers, so that these people don't take advantage of you being in solitude to attack you. That's the only message I'm giving to members of my party. And for those in UPND, I'm saying to them, please learn from the past. MMD seized authority from UPND, from UNIP, sorry. Did you see any violence when they were celebrating? No, there was no violence. PF seized authority from MMD in 2011. Did you see violence? Did you see us celebrating by killing people, maiming people, destroying their property? No. Why is it that this culture of celebrating with violence has come? Where is it coming from? Even at a football match, which team do you expect to become violent? The winning team? Normally it's the winning team that is celebrating happily. The losing team are the ones who tend to throw all sorts of things. And now in this case, we're seeing a new phenomenon that the winners are the ones who are violent and killing the losers. What kind of society is this? So, Colonel Simple, please, I would like to appeal to you, be realistic, think about this country. Don't think only about yourself and say, yes, because PF used to do it, it's okay, let them do it. That is wrong. Think about this country. Think about your children. Would you like somebody, when you lose elections in 2026 like you're going to do, would you like your house to come and be destroyed? And then we say to you, yes, you didn't stop it yourself, so we're going to destroy you? Please, Mr. Simple Kenel, I appeal to your conscience. Think about this country. Think about the peace of this country.
Mike has 3 questions. Can Honorable Lubinda tell us why his government left office without telling the Zambian people on the following? Who was behind the gassing issue, burning of markets, police brutality, students being harassed and beaten, some killed, and many others? Is silence meaning consent to failure?
Not at all. Not at all. And I think that all those questions actually were posed in Parliament and answers were provided. It's not as though these things were just buried. I recall that each of those matters was addressed in Parliament. So what I would suggest to my friend Mike is for him to just go and look at Hansard at Parliament. If he goes to Parliament website and just Googles gassing, I'm sure you'll find a long statement that was made by the Minister of Home Affairs. All the other issues that he's talking about, all he has to do is to just Google Parliament website and you find answers. So it's not, silence in this case does not apply because those questions were answered.
Piri, before I go to the phone lines, Piri, I want you to be honest and sincere as you answer my question. Why was it difficult for the police, the DEC, ACC to investigate PF members when the evidence of people living beyond their means was very clear for everyone to see? Even the president once said that his leaders were corrupt and had questionable amounts entering their accounts, but nothing was done. Why was it difficult?
I think that question would be best answered by the investigative wings themselves. However, I think that Luchi and many of your listeners will remember that there were quite a number of officials who were investigated. Some ministers were investigated. Some even lost their jobs. So to just generalize and say that they were not being investigated, I think is not correct, because we are alive to the fact that quite a number of senior government officers, including ministers, were investigated. Some of them were even taken to court. So this excitement, sudden excitement, is strange. But to appear as though these investigative wings of government were not allowed to operate is not correct, because evidence is there to show that they were operating. And they even went as far as investigating and trying senior leaders of the PF who actually happened to have been ministers.
Again, I'll ask you something I asked earlier on, but has the time come for us to say that we need to now really have lifestyle audits for our leaders to be able to say, look, this is what I earn, this is what I have? That way, I think one of the things you said was living beyond their means. Then you can genuinely say you are living beyond your means.
You know, you can do anything to improve the governance of the country, but as long as you have guidelines that everybody understands and is able to relate to. You can't just say we're going to have lifestyle audits without putting the parameters of the audit. Even the Auditor General, when he audits, he has parameters within which he operates to avoid abuse of authority. Because this also can be subject to abuse. If we say we're going to have a lifestyle audit for Luchi, the lifestyle audit is different from Lubinda, then it's not fair. That's rule of the jungle. So come up with guidelines that are free, guidelines that are fair, guidelines that are just. Then obviously everybody will oblige. As a matter of fact, the law already provides for some kind of audit of senior government officials. You know about the declaration of assets. Yes.
That many of you didn't.
Yes, well, ask those who didn't. If you go to Chief Justice's chambers, you'll find that from the time that I became a member of parliament, every single year, I submitted my declarations. So if people did not, then you shouldn't ask the person who did. Ask those who did not.
Okay. 26841. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Morning. You're live on radio. What's your name, sir?
Okay, I wanted to behind. Why we wanted to the serious one is because of the cadres. We are a driver. I am people, and people that didn't have coordinated to something. They used to take away the mouth. And it's something that they very bad.
Your line is not very clear, but let me see if I get this right. So you're a driver and somebody used to collect money from you. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. Your line is not the clearest line. What you do is call us back, and so that we can hear the question clear. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Elvis on the line.
Sorry?
Yes, Elvis. Go ahead.
Elvis.
Yes. Yes. I'm very shocked and surprised that the UPND today can be talking about the past. The people of Zambia voted for the UPND because they said they will come and fix it. They should stop the blame game now that they are in power. This is why the people voted for them. To come and fix everything which they were talking about. For now, they have even started retracting their statement which they were talking about in the opposition.
It's the ones that
Honorable, that the issue of the debt swap. I want to ask you, was it done in good defense or it was done in bad defense? Because by now, the UPND has suspended this. They are saying they want to see if this thing was genuine because they started negotiating about this a long time ago. The civil servants today are crying because they are suffering, their salaries will be deducted again. For the UPND to come into power, they promised a lot of things for the people of Zambia. The issue of employment for the youth, the issue of increasing the salaries for the civil servants, the dollar to come down, all these things will be put.
Yeah, Elvis, thank you very much, Elvis. Let me add two more calls and then I'll let you respond. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Patrick.
Patrick, go ahead, Patrick.
Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you, sir. For me, my submission will be as follows, Honorable. To start with, really was a shock to have seen that PF has been voted out of power. But me, I saw this coming because we used to go on this radio station. In fact, I was telling the leadership of PF to leave and to really put some of the things we used to join them in practice that they never have seen. But what is for me, like in Parliament, the leadership of PF have got a lot of respect for people like Honorable Lubinda. Having seen in the way he serves the people of Zambia, and in particular the people of Kawaka, I've got a lot of respect for you, sir. Now, I want to differ with you for the group that you found yourself in, which is the PF. And the majority of the things that you've been doing with the PF, but for me, I don't agree with it because why? I think you start to listen. PF really stopped listening. That's what you tried here and there. A lot of people tried. A lot of people try to talk to people in PF.
Can I ask you to get to the point? Because I need to take other calls. Just get to the point.
What is the take on the behavior today? That is coming from GDP and SC by giving because I think they have no power to work. So I just want to hear from Honorable Lubinda. Why is it that they are getting it?
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The driver from Copperbelt, if I heard him correctly, he was saying that one of the reasons why the PF was voted out is because of the cadres who were collecting money from drivers. Thank you very much for that information. Certainly that information will be delivered to the team that's doing the post-mortem so that they can factor it in. And this is also the same with Patrick, who said he saw this coming. He saw the PF losing because PF stopped listening. Thank you very much for that feedback. That's very important feedback for us. We have to look into this and see what caused that people believe we stopped listening. So that as we go forward, as we go ahead, we become a more listening party. Our intention is to be a popular party. Our intention is to make sure that we listen to the views of the people. Now, if Patrick says that we had stopped listening, I will not quarrel with him because I suppose he must have called on a radio station and advised, and we didn't take his advice. All I can say at this stage is to him, Patrick, sorry, we didn't listen to you. But this is something that we want to learn from. I'm hoping that all members of the party can listen to you and become better members. It is not only members of the Central Committee, it is members across the political hierarchy. Elvis, yes, you said it very well. I don't think this is any time for blame game. I said already that the reason why the PF lost elections is because we did not sell our manifesto as well as the others. And we also did not manage to dispel that their promises were fallacies. We didn't. That's why the people believed them. Now, surely it is not time for them to start apportioning blame and telling us, oh, we found the hidden debt. And when we ask them, where is that debt hidden? Where is it? They don't say. They say we inherited empty coffers and yet they can afford to go to New York. How did they buy tickets to go to New York if they didn't have coffers? How have they managed to pay salaries? Because ever since we lost power, there's not a single civil servant who hasn't been paid. Everybody has been paid. How come we're buying fuel? And fuel, by the way, is bought using foreign currency. You've not seen any fuel shortages in Zambia. How come they're buying maize from farmers? How? If they found inherited empty coffers. So you are right, Elvis. Let them not get into a blame game. Let them deliver on the promises. The debt swap that you spoke about, I don't even understand what they mean by saying they want to understand how this is going to work. Well, I suppose it's because they were ill prepared. They did not know what governance is. And now that they are in the seat, they start to realize that it's more complicated than they thought. And this is the reason they want to buy time to try and understand what a debt swap is. Simply put, Elvis, a debt swap in this particular case for civil servants is something that was negotiated in 2019, not even in 2020. The negotiation started in 2019. The civil servants themselves were saying, look, government, you owe civil servants money in terms of leave pay and so on and so forth. And these civil servants also owe the state. They owe treasury because of the advances and so on. The first thing you want to do is to say, Mr. Zulu is owed 10 kwacha by the state in leave pay, but Zulu also owes the state 20 kwacha. So let's swap so that we net it off. It becomes zero, or only one person owes. If you owe me and I owe you, surely it doesn't make sense. We should just net it off and say the one who owes the other more should pay the balance. That is what a debt swap is. And this was done in total good faith. But like Elvis was saying, yes, civil servants are crying because initially they saw that their take-home pay was improving because the state was paying its debt to them, and now they have stopped it and the civil servants are crying. But Elvis, it's not only the civil servants who are crying. All parents in Zambia are crying. Some people have said, give them time to come up with their budget before you ask them to deliver. We can also see from the presidential speech. The president's speech in parliament indicates what will be in his budget. When it comes to the issue of free education, what did he say? He turned 180 degrees. And instead of talking about free education for all children from grade 1 to university, what did he say in his speech? That we're going to give bursaries to vulnerable children. Please, Bali, you promised the Zambian people that you're going to give them free education from grade 1 to university. You did not say only vulnerable people. And look at what is ironical. He says only vulnerable people, and then in the same speech he says that poverty in Zambia is entrenched, meaning the majority of Zambians are poor. So if the majority of Zambians are poor, it means therefore that the majority of children are vulnerable. So why select a few then? Give everybody free education. Don't economize on the truth. He told us in his own words that by the 1st of September, after being elected on 12th of August, by the 1st of September, the price of maize will increase to 250 kwacha. Today we're getting to the end of September. Farmers are still being paid 150 kwacha per bag of maize. So farmers are also crying, Elvis. But also remember, he said, I'm going to reduce the price of midi meal to 50 kwacha. We're still waiting. So every Zambian who eats midi meal is crying. Who is it who is not crying? Huh? Everybody is crying. Look at the people who are operating taxis and so on, making life from taxis. Where are they? They have all been chased. They are also crying. Huh? And you heard that in the United States of America, he went and told Harris, Vice President. And by the way, I found it very strange for the president to go to White House and say, thank you for inviting us, because many presidents before us were not invited to White House. My foot, doesn't he realize that each of the presidents that we've had has visited the White House? And President Edgar Chagwa Lungu did not meet Biden when he was vice president. President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and First Lady Mrs. Esther Lungu went and met Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, not vice president. Now for him, he's very happy he went to meet Vice President and he's saying, I'm the first president to have been invited from Zambia. No, President Bali, your predecessor met the president, not Vice President. He met the president. And then he goes there and he says, we're going to align our values. I'm getting jittery. You go to another country and tell the other country that me as president of Zambia, I am going to make sure that we align our values, our cultural values. Which values do you want to align? Values are not imposed on people. people develop their own values. And what values do you want to align? If I suggest that you want to align gay marriages, is that what you want to bring to Zambia? No. The Zambians won't allow that. Do you want to do away with the Christian values to replace them, to realign them to what? No. You can see that the church, those who are genuine, are crying. But of course, there are some leaders of churches who are very happy with this, and they will not see beyond the smoke screen, and they will pretend that they're not seeing the dangers that are to before the country, and they will sing praises and so on, when deep down their hearts they know that Zambia is going on a wrong trajectory. The traditional leaders, are they not crying? President Edgar Chagwalungu set up the ministry of responsible for traditional affairs, and through that ministry, government was delivering to the chiefdoms, to traditional leaders. We were building palaces for them through that ministry. And now you have made it a department. Are you sure that a department will give the chiefs as much attention as the whole ministry was giving? So those who respect traditional authority in Zambia are also crying. We politicians are crying. Our people are being beaten. Back to what my friend Simple Kene was saying. He's even encouraging us to be beaten more. Simple Kene, a member of the UPND Alliance, he's saying yes, because what kind of living is that? No. So every Zambian is crying. Elvis, all of us are crying.
This from somebody. It's insulting, the arrogance. That's how he begins his text message. It's insulting the arrogance. Are Zambians that stupid, according to PF, that they can't tell fact from fiction? They believe manifestos more than what they see and live. They promised more money in your pockets in 90 days, but very few are millionaires. Peter, do you want to respond?
Yes. Yeah, Peter, we did not say that we're going to make millionaires in 90 days. We said that we're going to increase people's access to money, and we did that. We increased salaries of civil servants. We doubled them. All right. What did that mean? More money in the pockets of people. We reduced taxes. We didn't say that everybody is going to be a millionaire. No, Peter. I did not insult when I said you followed manifestos. What I said was that we in the Patriotic Front did not manage to show you that the promises they were making were flimsy promises. It is our fault.
It's too early though, isn't it? You don't think it's too early?
It's not too early when we were already told.
Yeah. Just that you and I come from a school where we believe 90 days seems to be the correct frame of time to give people.
You know, had we been told in the President's address to Parliament that come my budget, I shall enhance free education to all children, then I'd have said, yes, let's wait.
Okay.
But we were told, no, it is not free education for all children. It is bursaries for vulnerable children. What should I expect in the budget? Anything different? No. We were told 1st of September, price of maize will increase to 250. Today is 24th of September. Has the price of maize increased? No. So what more should we wait for? We wait for 100 days? Wait for 90 days? When the promises were made, some of them were time-bound. We were told 1st of September, isn't it? But today is 25th of September, 24th of September. The price of maize has not increased. I am a farmer. Truth be told, when I read that manifesto, and saw that they're going to increase the price to 250. I thought by some chance if they win, let me wait for my maize to be bought by them at 250. My maize is stuck. I can't sell it because they told me something that I believed. So even for my friend Peter, we're not saying that you are gullible. We're saying that we in the Patriotic Front did not do our campaign effectively to show you that when they said elect them at 10 hours, declare them winners at 12, and at 14 hours the dollar will be 10 kwacha, we did not manage to convince you that what they were telling you were just false promises. So I'm not blaming you, I'm blaming us in the Patriotic Front, because we are the politicians who should have sold you our manifesto and also shown you that what they were telling you was not correct. So please, I take the blame.
Let me take a 3 minute break.
So my neighbor Brenda always wants to tag along when I go shopping. I buy a toaster. She doesn't like the color of my toaster. I buy pillows. She has to pass a silly comment about my choice of pillows. I buy a cool car pressure washer as a gift for my hubby. Yep, you guessed it right. I was so fed up until I discovered online shopping with Radiant stores. Now I simply recline peacefully on my couch at home and shop from radiantonline.co.zm. Whether it's electronics for my kitchen or a wheelbarrow my garden boy needs, the online shop is a well-stocked shop, and there's always some good deals too good to be missed. What's more is that I can pay securely using my card or mobile money, and I get all this delivered for free. Oh, you should see Brenda's face when the delivery man arrives.
www.radiantonline.co.zm, the stress-free way to shop.
Radio stores, inspiring trust since 1981.
Just like a dynamite, it's so explosive. Ona kusikele la pena mwa makasi. Wanna blast, spring soda, everybody have a blast. Blast, spring soda,
a product of Revin Zambia, the taste of Africa. Some may see a substandard place, we see a workshop full of life. Some may see dirt all over the place, we see a hard-working Mark. Some may see grease-stained clothing, we see badges of honor, because we know the hard conditions mechanics face every day. We know their passion to do their job. We designed Shell Helix to fulfill their commitment and value their craft. Shell Helix goes beyond the requirements of industry standards to provide superior protection and great engine performance. Your mechanic does his best to take care of your car, so does Shell Helix. No other motor oil cleans your engine better. Distributed by Vivo Energy Zambia.
Do more with your Indo-Zambia bank account by activating your Indo Mobile and Net Banking. Our Indo Mobile and Indo Net Banking is the most convenient and safest way for you to do your banking needs from anywhere 24 hours a day. Make bill payments and fan transfers, buy airtime, bank to wallet transfers, purchase forex, request statements, monitor accounts, and much more. So do more, stay safe, transact cashless with our Indo Mobile and Net Banking. Indo-Zambia Bank, supporting you, developing Zambia. Phoenix.
10:44 in Phoenix. Welcome back to Let the People Talk. Mr. Hon Lubinda is our guest this morning. He's the Vice President of the Patriotic Front. Our phone lines still open, 226-841, 0978-895-895. You can WhatsApp as well, 0978-895-895. Mr. George Chimembe, for the Executive Director, he's gotten in touch in the past couple of minutes. Says, I'm trying to get in touch. Line is ever busy, so he sent it WhatsApp. I wish to clarify that I've never advocated for law enforcement agencies to press political parties to disclose the sources of their funding. This is simply a misrepresentation. I'm aware there is no law covering such issues. In fact, we've been advocating for political parties, a political parties law, so that we begin regulating political party funding, putting a cap on campaign funds, disclosure of campaign funding. That's from Mr. George Chimembe. A lot of what he said is actually in the Constitution, Article 60 of the Constitution, talking about a cap on campaign funds as well as disclosure of campaign funds. Secondary question, this is from somebody else. What's the status of the president of the party? He publicly announced his resignation and retirement, yet we see appointments of party positions coming from him. Has he retired? Was it a 30-day notice? If he has retired, what's the procedure for ushering in a new party president? Let me let you respond.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chimembe, thank you for clarifying. I'm sure that the one who mentioned your name and Mr. Nyambe's name, Mr. Lawrence, has gotten your clarification. And I agree with you entirely. And Mr. Chimembe, I think that you and I have discussed this matter and we are on the same page of this. This is a constitutional provision. We tried very hard to bring in subsidiary legislation to make sure that we cap political party expenditure. And this is something that I hold dearly myself, because I think that we should not make people vote for us on the basis of the amount of money we splash around. Politics must be exchange of ideas and not showing off of wealth and money. We saw the trend of some people going around and using money to win elections. That has to be a thing of the past. So I agree with you, Mr. Chemembe, but there is a government in place now. Let us see how they will handle that. The gentleman who was asking about the status of the president of the party, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu did indicate, when he was filing in nominations as president, he indicated he would not be available in 2026 because the constitution did not allow him. But also after the results, he also again reiterated the fact that he will not be available. Even if he hadn't gotten the vote, the second term, he wasn't available for 2026. And he is holding on to the presidency to allow for a smooth transition. As you have already seen, and you were talking about this earlier, people are already jostling for positions. You can imagine what would happen if he now said, all right, goodbye, I'm leaving. He would create a vacuum. And he'd be creating a vacuum too soon. And then all of us will now run asunder for that position. So he's being very cautious, he's being very careful. And I'm sure that when he realizes that there is stability, then he will obviously hand over. And the gentleman asked, what is the process for taking over as president? There is only one way that a president is elected in the Patriotic Front, and that's through the conference. Only the conference has the power to elect a president. However, the constitution of the party also provides for the departure of an incumbent president. A president may resign. And in the event that the president resigns, then the vice president acts as president to lead the party to the next general conference. Whether it be an ordinary conference or an extraordinary conference. That is not stipulated in the constitution. It does not say that acting president shall only lead to an extraordinary conference. It could be to the general conference. However, the position that I take is that we must go to the extraordinary conference sooner rather than later, so that the people, the owners of the party, choose a president whom we shall sell in readiness for 2026. So the sooner we do it, the better. I don't think that it will be fair for us to wait until 2025, because then we will not have enough time to sell our candidate. We ought to do it sooner. How will we do it sooner? If all of us in the party unite. If all of us, like the other gentleman said, I forgot to mention, the one who said, put party interests before your personal interests. I agree with him entirely. Let us put party interests first. As a matter of fact, it is even beyond party interests. Let us put the interests of Zambia first. Why the interests of Zambia? Because if we don't hold together, then unfortunately, our children and their children after them will look back and say, this crop of leaders are the ones who let us down and they killed the opposition, and this is the reason why we now have a one-party state. So we must put Zambia's interests first, put the party's interests second, and our personal interests can come later. So if we do that, and the sooner we do that, the better it is for all of us.
Hello, good morning. No, we lost you. Hello, good morning. No, we lost you on both lines. 226-841-0978-895. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. One plus. Sorry?
Mark.
Oh, Mark. Mark, go ahead, Mark.
We know Mark Mulishanda.
I confident we are going to come with 2026.
Thank you, Mark. Mark, we're very confident mwana na iwe ne ukoli start organizing ichipaniso 2026 tukabwele mwana. We're very, very confident that inga twakwata fye true, genuine introspection. If you twalelu fyanya twafichinja twaba better party ababantu ama promises bapanga mwana Maki katuishi koko bakatwala nefi balela ndefi mwana abantu nombali ne bakeibukisha kutati inga Edgar Chagwa Lungu yakwi nishi twalufyanya kutati Edgar Lungu afumepo nomba inga esa afike yonshita mwana iwe Maki ukouli na ine panondi naba nensu bonse twaikata na chapamo nishi 2026 tapaka byo nobo afya mwana tukabwelelamu.
Joseph sends this via the text line. I want to demonstrate to Mr. Lubinda on their arrogance. You pushed and spent lots of money on Bill 10 when we told you it was obnoxious. You denied that you were violent, but the president accepted at the burial of the late Congo that you lost because you were violent and advised the UPND to guard against it. Some of your ministers boasted that 2 million kwacha was shopping change in ShopRite. The list goes on and on. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Now, let me just clarify that on Bill 10, not much money was spent because people who attended the NDF, for instance, or who attended all processes of Bill 10 were not paid. It was voluntary work. So it is not true, my friend Joseph, that we spent a lot of money on Bill 10. And also, with regard to Bill 10, yes, again, we did not manage to convince people. We did not manage to convince members of parliament. Yes, the UPND used the arrogance of numbers. They defeated Bill 10. But, my friend Joseph, you have already heard, even those who are opposed are saying, let us review the constitution. So all I can say to you, my friend Joseph, is let's wait and see what proposals will they come up with when they say they want to review the constitution. Are you sure they will not come up with the same content of Bill 10? So time will vindicate us. Issues of people saying 2 million kwacha is change and so on. Again, these are issues that we certainly shall have to look at as we introspect. And I'm hoping that those who are making such statements are also taking time to introspect and ask, was this a good statement? Did this win us votes or did it lose us votes? So I hear you, my friend Joseph, and this is exactly the reason why we're doing the introspection and the postmortem. Kalenga says, Mr. Lubinda, let me help you understand one thing. The main reason PF lost the election had nothing to do with manifestos and whatnot. The reason PF lost is because Zambians were fed up with the lawlessness of the PF government. Councillor Johnson will put it well when he said the PF stopped being a party and became a criminal organization. That is why people wanted you out. That is why you lost.
Very well. We'll take that into consideration. We'll certainly analyze it. Thank you very much, Kalenga.
All right. Let me take one last call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, yeah.
I'm okay, thank you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, you are talking to Morgan.
Yes, Morgan, go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, Morgan. How are you?
Yeah. You are speaking very well. But one point what I want to say. You know, Zambia was born 1964 under UNIP. UNIP was gone. We had multi-party democracy under Tuva. A multi-party democracy MMD is gone. And now, do you think the PF can resurrect coming back into power again?
I think that Mr. Lubinda answered that question. You answered it.
I did.
Yeah, you answered it.
Morgan,
yeah.
Help us, Mwana, help us. Let the PF be the first party that loses power and comes back in 5 years. You and me and everybody else, every Zambian, if we really want to develop this country, we must look at what the PF did. And like I said earlier, that very soon people will be looking back and saying, where are these people who delivered all this development? Where are they? Because I can assure you, my friend, that the UPND alliance will not achieve not a quarter of what we achieved. None whatsoever. I can bet you they will not achieve a quarter of what we achieved. If they do, then I will say to you that yes, we have it wrong. But from where I sit, from where I stand, that they will not do. Already they have started walking back on their own promises. How do you expect them to deliver? They told you that they will bring the dollar to 10 kwacha. What is the dollar value today? 20 kwacha.
It's actually 16.
Yeah, 16 kwacha. But remember that the dollar started to reduce during the time of PF. That's when the dollar started to reduce. You saw the profits that were made by Mopani. Mopani declared profits, and they want to win credit. What policies was Mopani operating under? PF policies. Look at the Monunshi banana plantation. They are now producing banana. Who brought back Mononchi banana plantation? It was the PF. So what we're just waiting for is for President Bali to go and commission all the projects that we left. I hope that he will manage to commission all of them before 2026, because maybe he will not, because we left lots of projects on hand. And the people will look back and say, Barikwisaba PF Tureba Fwaya. All that is required now, my brothers and sisters in Zambia, my brothers and sisters in the PF, is for us to hold together and be loyal to each other, be loyal to the Zambians, so that in 2026, my friend Kalenga was saying it is not manifestos, it is lawlessness. Yes, we should look into that and make sure that going towards 2026, we must show that we are on the side of the law, so that we change this mindset. Remember, I talked about change of attitude. The mindset change is what we require.
In hindsight, is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Because in hindsight, and I know you said you'll introspect, and we can come back and have a proper conversation after you introspect. But do you think when you look back at there's one particular incident, it may not be on your mind right now, but there's one particular incident where you were a victim of abuse by cadres. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Do you think that if you had taken a much stronger stance then, maybe things would have been a bit different?
You're very smart. Luchi? No. I've said this to you many times. You're very smart. You're really smoking me out of the hole. I did say that I'm introspecting, and because you've referred to that particular incident, remember I said there are some things that I did which I shouldn't have done, and there are some things which I should have done which I didn't do. And one is that one. I think that I took that with a lukewarm attitude. Had I stood up then and said this must be condemned by all and sundry, things may have been different. So yes, in my introspection, that is, and I'm talking about this because this is a personal issue, but there are many other issues. Over that matter, the truth is, I regret not having done more. I regret it. I regret that I tried to use diplomacy, which people were not seeing. Had I taken a stand which Zambians could have seen, maybe some of them may not have said what they said, may not have regarded us in the manner that they did. So yes, that's one of the regrets I have.
Mr. Lubinda, thank you very much for coming on the program today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for tuning in at Davi-tech-media. Remember, Davi-tech-media is the media that shares news, trending videos, political news, gospel music, as well as entertainment. Please don't forget to click that subscription button and that notification bell to be the very first person to receive the video that will be produced and posted by Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media, updating you.